Hello, thank you for the introduction and for the nice applause. In our research project, we studied the effect soil erosion barriers had on the soil fungi community after a high-intensity forest fire. As you all know, forest fires are a natural part of the Mediterranean forest ecosystem. However, due to climate change, the frequency and the intensity of forest fires has increased. And during a high-intensity forest fire, the flames burn usually hotter than 300 degrees. Little of the vegetation remain, and even the litter and the top soil layer are burned. And those are the layers soil fungi are most active in. Additionally, as you can see here, you usually have a water-repellent soil layer forming after the fire, which greatly increases the risk of erosion after the forest fire. And during these erosion events, usually the rest of the fungi community is lost. Now, this is very bad news for the recovery of the ecosystem after the forest fire, since, for example, many pioneer species rely on soil fungi to form symbiosis with to really establish on a plot. And without these soil fungi, the recovery of vegetation can be delayed by years. Now, we can't do anything about the fungi that have been burned during the fire, but what we can do is minimize the damage that is done to the soil fungi due to the erosion. A common method to deal with soil erosion after a fire is to install log erosion barriers. These work by slowing down the debris flow and catching eroding material. And we suspect that they also catch organic material of soil fungi. This is what these barriers look like in the field. Now, we ask ourselves the question, since these barriers also most likely catch soil organic fungi, what impact do they have on the recovery of the soil fungi community after the fire, and can they be used to speed up the recovery of the vegetation? To answer this question, we collected vegetation data and soil samples from the forest fire site in Sierra de la Culebra, which you have already heard a lot from during this Congress. Now, to collect the vegetation, we used the transect method, which you can see in the bottom right corner, sorry. And for the soil data, we collected 9 soil samples directly behind barriers, and 9 soil samples in erosion zones that didn't have any barriers. We wish to extract the DNA from the soil samples and compare the found soil fungi community and the vegetation community between the plots. However, sadly, our data is still being processed and I can't show you the results yet. However, we have preliminary results, and based on them, we can say that it is very likely that the soil erosion barriers do in fact catch soil fungi, and that from behind the catchment areas, the soil fungi can repopulate the rest of the plot, which means, if this is true, that soil erosion barriers can in fact be used as a cost-efficient method to help revitalize the soil fungi community after high-intensity forest fire and subsequently speed up the recovery of the vegetation after the forest fire. Thank you for your attention.